second season in the TVC Ohio. But after a big win against NY last week, they find themselves leading the conference with another tough game against Meigs tonight. Clay Benjamin was in Bidwell tonight, and Clay, they tried to stay undefeated.
Justin, the Raiders made a huge statement last week with their win against Nelsonville York. But Coach Sparling told me this week, that there was no time for celebration, as every week in the TVC Ohio is a challenge. Now, Cody Bartram and the Marauders looking to give River Valley their first loss of the season, but Bartram would throw a pick on the first play of the game. On the ensuing Raiders drive, Dayton Hardaway, he drops back to pass, and he bombs it down the left sideline and finds his favorite receiver, Kirk Morrow, who catches it over the defender for a 34-yard touchdown, 7-0 River Valley. From there, both teams struggled on offense, and weather was a huge factor the entire night. Later in the first quarter, Bartram gets sacked from behind by Ty Smittle, and that Raider defense was brutal the entire first half. On Meigs' next drive, Bartram can't hold on to the snap, and Dylan Brown picks it up for the Raiders and takes it down into the Meigs territory. Later in the drive, Hardaway, he drops back to pass again, and he finds his favorite man, Kirk Morrow, who again catches it over two defenders this time for a 31-yard touchdown, 14-0 River Valley going into the locker room. And on Meigs' first drive of the second half, Caleb Sheets picks up 7 yards on 4th and 1, and this is where the momentum really started to turn for Meigs. Next play, Sheets would punch it in for his first touchdown of the night. 14-14 with 7:05 left in the third, and Meigs would go on to win a close one, 26-21. Caleb Sheets had 17 rushing yards, 126 yards, and 1 touchdown, and Justin, he was huge in the second half.
Well, Clay, that's a big win for Meigs, especially after the slow start they had tonight.
Justin, whatever Coach Bartram said to his team in the locker room definitely worked. This team came out of the halftime dominating on both sides of the ball, and that's what ultimately led to this come-from-behind victory.
And a reason for that slow start was the rain tonight in Bidwell. How much did weather play a factor?
Justin, it was a big factor. It wasn't raining hard in Bidwell, but it was a steady downpour, and the ball was wet from the kickoff. Both teams struggled holding on to the ball, and after River Valley scored on their first drive, both offenses really struggled until halfway through the second quarter. There were a lot of turnovers and penalties, and it was very uncharacteristic for both of these teams. But sloppy conditions will lead to sloppy play.
Well, that's definitely true, and it was a tough loss for River Valley tonight, but they had some great performances. Who stepped up for the Raiders?
Justin, Kirk Morrow and Mark Ray were huge for the Raiders tonight on both sides of the ball. Morrow had 2 very nice touchdown catches that you saw in the highlights in the first half, and they made some nice deflections and tackles on defense. Ray, on the other hand, was a bruiser running the ball tonight. He pounded the ball while also making tackles and even an interception on defense. These 2 guys will be huge for the Raiders going on to the rest of the season, but shout out to Meigs, who came out to play in the second half and really shut down the Raiders.
Now, Clay, is it too early to say that Meigs is the favorite to win the TVC Ohio now?
It's still early, but Meigs has definitely established themselves as the front runners with this big road win in this tough conference. For me, coming into the game, River Valley were the favorites and the team to beat, and the Marauders did just that with a very good second half performance. But Justin, don't count out the River Valley Raiders just yet.
Well, it should be an exciting second half of the year. Thanks for the great work, Clay. Now, before